Hello, everyone. You're tuned in to the Path Radio Spotlight, courtesy of thepathradio.com. I am your host, Guido Perino, and today on the show, we're dialing up the volume with one of the most electrifying rock bands out of the Bay Area, Corvus Lore. Since forming in 2015, they've made it their mission to keep original rock music alive with a blend of gritty riffs, soaring melodies, and a serious passion for authenticity. Their videos have earned film festival awards, their songs have topped indie charts, and their live performances prove you don't need backtracks to bring the house down. With their latest single, Feather Me Through, turning heads and hinting at a powerful new chapter, they're showing no signs of slowing down. Joining me now are guitarist Eric Fraser, vocalist guitarist Ryan Jones. We're talking new music, new energy, and what's next for the band. Eric, Ryan, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Thanks for having us,
Aw-
man. It's great to be back.
Awesome. Really enjoyed talking with you, Guido.
We've got Eric in the white room and Ryan in the yellow room.
Where he belongs.
Sounds like a rock song.
No, it's a
Isn't that a
cycle
line? It is a line from a song, isn't it? In the white
In a
room.
white room.
with black curtains.
There you
Yeah.
go. Where's the black curtains, Eric?
Yeah.
I won't stand up.
I hear you're a man of many backgrounds, though, Eric. I really do.
I do my fair amount of video conferencing.
Straight on. You know what I just noticed? I think do we have the same glasses?
I don't think so. Yours,
Black rim.
is there a Hugo Boss? I think. I don't know.
It is.
Oh,
Are yours
man.
Hugo?
You
Well,
got a good eye.
I thought you guys were like prana or something like that.
I
We
have.
thought we were-
You know what? I have some of those.
Oh my God.
They're like 17 prescriptions ago, so I can't wear them. And when I do, my wife looks at me, she's like, "Can you see?" I'm like, "No. Why do you wear those?" I look like Bono. She's like, "Can you play like Bono?" No. Take the glasses off.
Oh man.
Sorry, I digress. You guys know I go a little off the road sometimes.
It's
That's all
awesome.
good.
So look,
Yeah.
this is our third tour of interviews with Corvus Lore. And
Wow.
I want to, sometimes we get things out of the way real quick. Let's get this out of the way real quick. There's been a bit of a lineup change. And so let's help fans welcome as you did. And I hope we get this right. Johan Red Cup Hill. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Right on.
Yeah, you
On
did.
bass. What leads to that lineup change and how has his joining the band impacted it creatively or influenced the live dynamic of the band?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably prudent first to say that Ryan and I are just we really want to wish a strong farewell to Mike Onetto. He was
All right.
an original band member with us for 10 years. We can't understate his contributions to Corvus Lore, to the sound and the songwriting. And Johan, he definitely had big shoes to fill coming into Mike's spot. But he's a Bay Area legend. Like anywhere Ryan and I go with him, he pretty much will know anybody walking on the street.
It's
uh,
ridiculous. It really is.
he's in a ton of bands. Actually, you know what, Guido? He came as a recommendation from our producer Tim Narducci. So when we were on the hunt for a new bassist, Tim had like one name in his Rolodex that he wanted to forward to us because he just knew that it was going to be like the right fit, professional mindset, into this, similar style of music. And yeah, and so Johan played his first gig with us last Saturday out in Redwood City, and we're currently like we're throwing new songs at him to go on to the next record, and I think he'll even be making an appearance on the third album.
Oh, right on. Well, welcome, and I like the way you covered the journey there between the bass players. I think it just speaks to how professional you guys really are. As a band and people. Do we get to know why we call them Red Cup? Is there a story we can share? Or?
We need to find that out because that's been thrown at us a couple of times and we're not quite sure. So we'll have to get back to you on that one.
All right. I
I'm
I
sure there's an interesting story behind it because Johan is quite the character.
I
So
mean, I think Red Cup and I think Red Solo Cup, or
Exactly.
or maybe, like red dyed hair, or
well, he has a red dyed beard, and then
right.
his tone and volume knobs on his bass guitar, he had custom machined little metal red cups as the knobs.
It's just a mystery, like Guns N' Roses had
Hmm.
had, Buckethead, and you kind of knew why he was Buckethead because he would wear the KFC bucket on his head, but Red Cup has a little bit of mystery to it still, like
Does we'll have to unlock that mystery. Get back to you.
cool. Looking forward to it. So look, we're getting together tonight because we want to talk about a little bit more about the new single, with maybe more on the way. We've got Feather Me Through, premiered on July 4th. It's a preview of your third album. Take us through maybe a little bit of the emotional journey behind the song. Is there a focus on grief and resilience, or
Yeah, it's interesting you pick up on that. Yeah, I would say yes. A lot of other people describe the lyrical content and just the overall energy of the song as hope, right? And also, resilience and working through grief. I was a little hesitant. I mean, as you know, I write from a lot of personal experiences, but also try to write them in a way where it's digestible to everybody else and it means something to them. So we don't typically write right on the nose, but this particular subject matter, um, it was about going through the loss of my dad back in early 2024, and just you know going through that journey, which everybody's is different, and I was hesitant to write about it, but to actually get it out there and off, just what I was going through, just actually was part of the healing process. So yeah, so I mean that's really it in a nutshell, and just it is about grief and loss and all that, but at the same time it's about really not saying goodbye and setting someone free and knowing that they will return and you will see again. So
it's interesting that, and you said that I picked up on the grief. I lost my dad early 2025. And so
mhm.
I think as I
Sorry,
listen
man.
to,
I'm really sorry to hear that.
y- I hear you, right? And
Yeah.
that's maybe where it resonates a little bit. And so I think you're going to, there is that hope side, but I think you're going to connect with a lot of people with this song, as they pick up on those tones and stuff. Um, and again, thanks for sharing the personal journey there and giving us those insights. It's not an easy thing to do. Um, Talking about not easy things to do, and I'm curious, the third album, is there more pressure, um, these days to put out music faster as opposed into the past, like when, you could maybe let some songs cook a little bit or wear them down a little bit. Do you find that, hey, we got to put out new music, we got to put out new music? Is there that kind of pressure these days?
Uh, I would say with the third album, there was some urgency to get back in there. We sat on, Lucida's been out there for a few years now, and we have these other songs kind of sitting there cooking on the fire over there, not just kind of dabbling with them a bit, and not really knowing whether they're going to be worthy of making a third album. But Valley of Fire, they're like, you know, you're on a label, and they're kind of curious what's going on. So there was some pressure there to a certain extent. And what we did, we got into Feather as the first recording for the third album, after it was identified as going to be the single. But total honesty here, I mean, we haven't had the complete album finished in the writing stages yet. There was still songs yet to be formed and figured out. And I personally felt like a lot of pressure to hurry up and get some stuff out there. But at one point, I just kind of like, you know what? It doesn't feel right. It's not going to be good. I don't want to rush this thing. It's going to live out there forever. Let's make sure that we're putting the best quality content out there and puts Corvus Lore on the best light. And then all of us could, feel really good about it. So we 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 blitzkrieged actually through a handful of songs quite quickly because those songs were pretty much polished and all figured out. But the second half of the album's been a little bit of a longer writing process, and we're okay with that. So I know the label wants it out there right away, but we're kind of like saying, let's make sure this is right. And I know Tim, our producer, he wants the same thing as well. So they're just excited about the content that they've heard so far. So there's some anxiousness there, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. We want to get hurry up and get it out there.
How do you keep them at bay? Like what's the what's the olive branch when you're going through that as a band to, well, not just your label, fans and others, right? Like, do you guys have to do anything special or any tricks of the trade or?
We just like text him and go, leave us the hell alone. No, no.
It's ready when it's ready.
It's ready. Yeah. No, no, no.
Well, look,
Uh,
you guys have built a reputation on doing things your way, and I say that respectfully, right? We've had conversations in the past, from custom amps to no, and I mentioned in the intro, no backing tracks, right? As you're moving into this next phase with new music and the new bassist, um, you know, are you defining, what evolving without compromise looks like for you as a band?
Yeah, it's interesting. You remembered or recalled the whole thing about custom amps, and I mean we're a band that builds songs around heavy rock or heavy rock bass guitars, and so I think our approach is basically trying to keep things kind of old school. So the things that we
right.
record with are essentially what we use live, and I think that pretty much helps us translate the songs to a live audience. I'd say too that the evolution of the band, especially on the next album, uh, we have this desire basically to show more sides of the band, which really is like a reflection of our personalities. We're kind of digging a little bit deeper, getting into more of some other influences. But the bottom line is that we want to keep the music interesting, and I think we also want to stay true to what we've established on the past two albums, which is essentially like a hard rock band with some modern rock influences.
Yeah, you do bring, and again in the intro I mentioned authenticity, and I think when I hear you say those things, it translates back to authenticity. With Feather Me Through, you've explored those themes of grief and loss and hope. Um, and you've got some work that you're still doing on the album. Um, uh, are you taking on more personal and emotionally raw themes? And as you're doing that and trying to stay true to the classic sound and being a rock band, um, is it a vulnerability? Does the vulnerability change your dynamics as a band as well, whether you're on stage or before you even get there?
Uh, I, I would say no, because I mean, the songwriting process, and it's not like you consciously sit down and set out, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Um, in writing music, I write it, I write it for myself, really. It's like, again, going back to the point about saying, when sharing an idea and the lyrical content is very deep and personal to me. Um, Again, we don't do it like right on the nose. We want people to be to relate to it and digest it, and it means something to them. But the songwriting process for me is always just about what's going to make me happy, what's going to bring me joy, what's going to just be something super amazing
Mm.
that could be shared with the world, and then hopefully they adopt it and they kind of feel the same way, but again, it means something totally entirely different to them. So um, you use the word vulnerability, and I think that's a really good word. You know, it's easy to a certain extent just kind of write something and kind of meaningless. And I don't know. To me, it's just more gratifying putting content out there where it's just there's a purpose behind the lyrical content. Um, Not that every song has to be heavy or anything like that. It's not, but it's super important for me just to be putting stuff out there that I, when I'm 80 years old, I could rest my head on the pillow at night and feel really good about, what was out there. So, if that really makes sense. But
No, you know what, Ryan, it does. And I'm just thinking there's a lot of bands that when you get to a certain point, there may be a struggle to balance nostalgia and innovation, right?
right.
And
Mm,
Eric was just talking about, authenticity and how you guys write. Clearly you have inspiration from classic rock, right? The roots, but you
absolutely.
also clearly want to have a current, your own current sound that, as you say, we identify with, and that 30, 40 years from now, we say, oh yeah, that's the Corvus Lore sound. But as you're on that journey between that balance, nostalgia, innovation, conscious choices that you're making in the studio to evolve that Corvus Lore sound, how are you doing that without losing your roots? And I'll also add this other element to it. Once you start having success, like right, as you have been having, and even Feather Me Through, right? It's already it's already enjoying some success. So how do you not compromise your roots as those things happen? Because I gotta replicate that. But I want to stay true to my roots, and you got the nostalgia.
Right.
And how do you find your balance?
I mean, I can start with it, but I think where we're landing right now is that we have a really good we have a process for writing songs that's working well for us. And of course, as Ryan said before, like we write songs that we would want to hear. To your point, Guido, that are based on the roots of some of the giants that came before us. And even in the songwriting process, Ryan and I will sit down and go over like the start of an idea, and really in our band it's best ideas win. So but while it might be a struggle, like if you're dead set on like the structure of a song, at the end of the day we all make compromises and try to do what's best for the song in the hopes that we can, to Ryan's point, all live with it at the end of the day. um, the other thing I'd say too is Ryan is a brilliant lyricist. He's not afraid to explore other sides of his vocal styles. So to your point, Guido, like you can hear sometimes vulnerability in Ryan's voice, or sometimes he just might be belting out the most awesome melody ever, and he basically tailors that to each and every one of the songs. And I really hope that comes across to show the authenticity of the band. Ryan, anything else there?
Oh, well, that was pretty good explanation there. But no, I think to Eric's point, there's like for me, like there's some boxes to check, when it comes to the writing process. And some of those boxes, number one box is like, does it give me chills? Right?
Mm.
I mean, does it really like move me? Um, and two, if I come up with a melody or something like that, and I find myself walking about the house or throughout the day, just subconsciously singing it or humming it, I'm thinking, okay, there's something there. Um, and and two, three, that the content, if there's something that really comes to me in terms of like, okay, this is what this song is gonna be about, because quite often I don't have like an idea of like what I want to sing about. It's like a 50-50 really. It's like sometimes I'll just have just the music, and it speaks to me and says, okay, this is what the song's going to be about, because it'll emotionally drive me into a direction that maybe I wasn't anticipating. um, so again, it's to Eric's point, it's about like at the end of the day, what is going to be the best song. um, it doesn't matter if it's something of this genre or that genre or whatever. We know that our natural, you know um, innate nature of things, that what we kind of drew inspiration from a long time ago, like the giants that came before us, like Eric said, that's always going to be there. Just as long as it's a good quality song and it sounds familiar to you, to the listener, to a certain extent, and it's becomes hopefully what we would call the ultimate earworm. So
let's
How we
let's
get
talk a
there
little
doesn't.
let's talk a little bit about, because we've made some references to other bands, and we've
Sure.
chatted about comparisons before. You've got Soundwaves TV, Chris Aiken. They've landed, a lot of you guys as the next Velvet Revolver. You've been
Mhm.
dubbed the Bay Area's
I
busiest.
don't know about
Has anything changed? Like when you look and say, well, we've got some success, independent success, right? We've got radio play success, we've got film festival awards, you've got streaming traction, and then you hear these comparisons.
Right.
Um, you know, how do you process those comparisons? Um, do you feel a responsibility to live up to any type of hype? And has it changed from, album one versus album now entering album three?
Oh man, that's a really good question. I I'd say like any hype or attention that Corvus is getting is it's always going to be a good thing. And there's always going to be typically more attention placed towards the band when you have something to promote, right? Like a new release or a new video. So we totally get that it's fleeting. And comparisons are going to happen. So, I mean, that's basically how you establish a common ground when talking to someone about, an indie band or somebody who is not as well known as Corvus. You talk in terms of it's kind of like this meets this. And but I think to your point, Guido, you said something about, is it getting more defined? And I do think that Corvus Lore definitely has its own style and sound, and I think with each album it gets more and more defined. And wait till you hear the rest of the tracks on this third album. I think hopefully you'll agree with me.
Yeah, I typically do. I've enjoyed the Corvus Lore journey all along. So I'm kind of pumped especially after hearing this. I'm like, yeah, let's hear it. Bring it on.
awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome.
When I do these shows, I'm like, am I allowed to be a fan at the same time? But it's my show. I could be a fan. If somebody doesn't like it.
Hey, we'll take
You
it.
do anything you want. I'm surprised you're not making margaritas right now. It's your show. I mean, yeah.
I would love to have a bar behind me doing that. That'd be great, Or bring you guys to imagine that, a studio bar. That would be awesome,
Right. Well, make sure it's not like a green screen thing because someone might think it's real once you
right?
pull a bottle
Yeah, just have your assistant bring one off screen to you.
down.
I thought I was the only one that listened. Look, your videos. I want to talk a little bit about your videos, talking about scenery here. Your videos like Boxing Ballerina, Blind and Broken. They're amazing. They're visually stunning. They're ambitious. Can we explore the creative process that you go through to develop, these cinematic concepts? And are we getting that with every future single, or like you set a
Right.
bar here,
Yeah, the video thing, it's really weird because I feel it's like one of the greatest ways to show the band, create the brand, and also connect with, hopefully listeners of your music who enjoy the music and they find another way to like, again, connect with everybody in the band. And as you know, videos really weren't taken very seriously for quite some time, right? They just kind of faded out. And um, but to answer your question, uh, yes, we definitely plan on doing more videos. And yes, we like for them to be ambitious. And I guess for us, the fortunate thing is the lyrics themselves, when coming up with like a theme or a concept, there's a lot of visual imagery that comes just pouring out of the lyrics right off the page. And so it's like literally a verse would be like telling me like, yeah, do this and show this. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of like right in front of you to a certain extent. But the feedback that we've gotten about the videos, I think it's fuel to the fire. It's always rewarding when we're like out somewhere or after a show and someone comes up and says, "Oh my gosh, I saw the Blind and Broken video. Absolutely amazing." We get that a lot, and we're super stoked on that. Um, So the plan is right now is before we drop the full length album, we will do another single supported by a
Yeah.
full production video. But the process really starts with I'll just write out the script, and then I'll actually like scout out locations and ideas. I won't tell the band about it because they'll say, "Oh hell no, we're not going underwater again," or "We're not gonna like fly upside down in a plane or anything like that. We're done with your shenanigans."
I think
Um,
Ryan's gonna set us on fire for the next video.
well, it's funny in Blind and Broken, to this day, a lot of people think those underwater scenes are CGI, and we're like, what kind of pockets do you think we have? I mean, that was all real stuff underwater. And for Feather Me Through, the original idea was to try to capture a snowstorm in Tahoe and have the whole band playing in like a blizzard. I mean, that was literally in the script, and but Mother Nature wasn't cooperating, and we couldn't get everybody's schedule on the same page as the storm. So we had to kind of divert a little bit, and just I did the Tahoe scenes on my own, and then in the studio itself, we actually brought in snow machines so that none of that's AI. It's all snow machines inside as the band's playing inside a building. So we love it. I love the process. It's a super fun way again to show the band and no letting up on it. I personally really enjoy the video process. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the underwater scene, sacrificing of guitars and equipment.
Yeah.
When when I saw you lying in the snow on Feather Me Through, I'm like,
Oh,
where is he going with this?
I gotta tell you that opening scene. I I was working with Mike Sloat, the director producer, who's phenomenal. I mean, he is a tour de force. Um, he just wow, he just that you could do a whole other show on Mike Sloat. I mean, that guy's incredible. Um, but the opening scene where I'm laying face down in the snow, I thought, yeah, no problem, right? Easy. Oh Lord, man. I was like, my face was like burning, numb, sting. And he's just like, oh, he's like afar from the shot. A little longer, little longer, little longer. I'm like, dude, I'm dying here right now. And so as I'm like getting up, I'm really shaking. I'm freezing. I mean, it's just like I'm not acting. I'm like freezing my nose off.
Half of my face is frozen.
It was crazy.
So when I see that in the video, I'm like, it's real. He really did it. Like that's not fake. I know, like like living here and with all the snow,
Well, yeah,
right? So I was like, he really stuck his face in this. How long was he in there for? Right?
yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, and you could tell the rest of the video. My face is like all red and numb from the rest of the shots.
Yeah, and well, and I was like, you notice it, but again, hey, it's authentic, and you're
Yeah.
willing to go to extremes, I guess, there's one scene, and this is I mentioned earlier, you said you're interested in knowing what I was going to ask. So
Mm.
I just want to know if there's a shot where you're reaching for the feather and you're doing it with your hand that has the wedding ring. And there's this slow reaching for was it a conscious decision to use the hand with the wedding ring for any reason? I don't know if I'm, cluing into something that isn't
Uh,
there. I
no,
just
I think
thought,
that was. I think it's because my right hand was numb and I couldn't do anything with it. So
Or he was like Alanis Morissette
yeah,
and had one hand in his pocket.
he wished he had one hand in his pocket. No, I was
yeah,
just
no,
curious. I was like, oh, I wonder if there's like some extra symbolism here that, they threw in. It's just coincidence.
no,
So
but you're talking about the opening scene, right? Where I
yeah.
first wake up and grab the feather. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's the camera and it's so slow on the hand and you see the feather, but then you also see the ring and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's some symbolism connected here, between these two things, but you know, family, I don't know. Um, Look, Ryan, also in the past you've mentioned and I gotta ask, you mentioned wanting to sing without a guitar. It's a dream. And you're like, Eric is like in the camp of the hell no, you're not doing that. About adding the third guitarist, right? Any progress?
I don't bring it up anymore. Eric just yells at me. So
I don't believe
uh,
that.
And Guido, I cannot imagine it not being Ryan and I doing the guitar duties in the band. Like to bring in another player, it just to me it's like we've been doing it this way for 10 years. Um, Ryan's a rock solid rhythm player. In fact, I dared him on the third album that he needs to play a solo. So Ryan, there's still a few songs left to go. You could still be laying down that tasty lick.
Okay. Challenge accepted as long as you do lead vocals on one of the songs.
Oh, well, that'll be a deep cut on the album for sure then.
It's funny though that you bring this up, Guido, because at the show this past weekend, I was speaking with the lead singer of Devil of California, band that we played with, and we were talking about you know lead vocals and playing instruments at the same time, and how it's really it's really different. Like as soon as you throw like a guitar on your body, almost subconsciously you start breathing differently as you're trying to project and hit certain notes. It's just I can't really describe it. It's pretty wild. So I don't know, maybe one of these days I could put the guitar down on a couple of tracks here or there and just do lead vocals, but I'll have to get Eric's stamp of approval
I
and
thought I was
say
close to brokering a deal here live, like, and I see,
it
I
would have
just,
been awesome. It would have been awesome, but yeah, Eric is he's pretty stunned. He's a tough negotiator.
My
you
way or
know,
the highway.
I'm like like you guys are like totally different league, right? But as someone who, dawdles around with a guitar and sings, right? There is an element, like, and as you're saying that, I'm thinking, yeah, I like to have the guitar and sing, but I don't know if I was playing live, like the freedom of not having the guitar and being able to, do all the other things,
Right.
it would intrigue me, right?
It
But
does because I mean, my roots are from Southern Cal, and I was doing a lot of you know gigs and stuff down there just as a front man and never play guitar. I mean, I always play guitar on the side for writing and stuff, but when it came to live performance, I was just the lead vocalist, and that's all I had to worry about. Now it's like sometimes I look up when we show at a show, it's like I feel like I have more gear than a drummer. It's like what the heck? I miss the days of just singing.
now, Eric, as we're talking about that, the singing, you as the lead guitarist, are you approaching guitar tones or techniques differently with the new material? Do you have any stylistic shifts of any kind that we're gonna hear,
Do we actually get to talk about gear? I'm
or?
excited. How much time do
You
you
just
have?
opened up
No.
a whole can of worms, Eric
Oh
Guido.
my
How much
gosh.
time do we have left in this interview?
Give us something. Give us something for the gear
I
heads. Come
mean,
on.
so in terms of gear, I don't know. I got a really cool Gibson Explorer replica made out of Carina wood. It was actually made by a luthier in Italy. It showed up last year, but certainly in time to do some tracking with it. So I did parts of Feather Me Through, both using the Les Paul and then that Carina Explorer. Um, and I mean, in terms of like techniques or just trying things differently, like if we take Feather Me Through as an example, there's two guitar solos, and there's one in the middle, and then there's one on the way out, and they're completely different in sound. Like the first one has like an octaver and a phaser on it. It's completely dry, and I was definitely going for like attitude, sass, and swagger. And then the solo on the way out is much, it has more delay and chorus, a little bit more dreamy, and I was really just trying to kind of capture Ryan's emotion, like on his ending lines out of the way, getting out the song. Um, so, I mean, I would say that for equipment and techniques, but the other thing that's really cool in working with someone like Ryan as a guitar player, he's always bringing in new tunings into the band. So, and what I typically do is to learn the songs as best I can in a standard tuning, even though Ryan may have an altered open chord. And I think having that differentiation means I'm going to play somewhere different on the neck, probably do, different inversions or interpretations of the chords. And I think that interplay between the two of us is worked out really well.
Now, Eric, are you on that on Feather Me Through? You're using the new Gibson on the whole song?
So Ryan and I double track our guitar parts. So even though we're left and right,
Yeah.
let's say I'm on the right, there's at least two guitars for me. And so it'll be 59 Les Paul replica and then that Explorer I used as well. And and I think I used two different amps too. I used my main Hallbrook for the core parts of the song, and on the exit solo, I used Ryan's beautiful Friedman Dirty Shirley combo amp.
Sweet. I gotta now with that little bit, re-listen to the song, right? And just try to hone in on those. I love stuff like that, right? You kind of go, because
Right.
you listen and you do hear some of the changeovers and even the intonations, etc. But then when you have the equipment sort of in mind, you're like, oh, okay, that's what that sounds like, ever neat, right? But I don't expect everybody like to go down that route, but you're gonna have
Sure.
folks who have that interest as well, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's
we sorry, I was just gonna say
yeah.
real quick that we've captured some of that kind of like the behind the scenes in the studio. We'll post them every now and then. You'll see Ryan, doing that killer lick at the intro and or uh, various different parts of that song. So yeah, stay tuned. Go to our socials and check out how we track that song.
But it's
Ryan?
really cool that, we don't try to like it doesn't sound like just one giant guitar. There's a lot of depth to it, right? You could tell the differences between the guitars and
Mhm.
that's a total conscious effort, because it just adds really great depth to it, and it's pretty nice to be able to pull this guitar or that amp, and right at your fingertips, you have something totally different, unique for each one, just to lay down.
Yeah, the layers are, I think, are an intriguing thing,
Right.
right? In a song like that. With Feather Me Through, you're enjoying some success. Fans are enjoying it. There's some charts happening for you. Um, Expected, unexpected, um, changing anything because of it?
Just grateful.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it. Um, Super grateful that it's landing somewhere and it's resonated with people. I think going back to the top of the conversation where we're discussing, what the song was about, how you kind of pulled that out of it, and I don't know, maybe it's giving me some sort of hope that people are getting something out of it the same way. So yeah, totally unexpected. I mean, for me, I think it's a great song, but you just never know when you put something out there what really is gonna, take off or not.
What are we looking at? I mean, you're working on the rest of the album. Touring. What's after that? What's next? What's in the future?
Well, obviously we'll finish the album up first. We were hoping, we discussed earlier, thought we were going to be done with it earlier, but again, let's get it right. Our hope is probably sometime early next year. We kind of get out. We need to get out of California. Um, there's so many cool areas all over this country to go and see and visit and play at, and it's exciting to be able to get out there and support the album and connect with fans across the country. So nothing totally baked out yet, but we're working on it. So more to come on that.
Would you consider international?
Yeah, I would love to do that, to be honest. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I mean, I don't know what everybody else thinks about that, but I know Johan is up for it. Johan's, he's toured the globe in bands multiple times, so he's ready to go. But yeah, I wouldn't say no to anything at this point.
Don't make us start a petition.
Yeah. I was gonna say Guido's backyard birthday bash might be kind of a cool stop to make.
That would
Well,
be
his
awesome.
pool is like 93 degrees, so it'd be nice and toasty for us to jump into.
The pool is hot right now. But you know what? Yeah, we that would be awesome. If you guys come, I would take out a street permit.
Okay.
I would go get a street permit and shut down the street because we could do that, right? We could get a party permit. No, you guys don't do that?
Uh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
in my neighborhood, people get like street permits when they do like 4th of July firework parties. I
Yeah, like
think
and you
they
know, you
just
can.
totally close it down.
That's what I'm thinking, right? Hey, Corvus Lore is coming. I'll get a street permit. Just have a street party. We'll
Do it.
barbecue hot dogs and get like a video game truck or something crazy. Like you can't just be it can't be normal. Like how could I just have you guys come and play music after the videos you make? Like seriously.
There you
True.
go.
Yeah,
Love it.
I digress again. Look, where do we get the new single, new materials? Is there anything else that you'd like to leave us with before we close things out?
yeah, man. It's
You
it's all
go for
up
it.
on Corvus Lore website, so you can find all the streaming channels, links to all our videos, and man, Guido, it's been such a pleasure catching up with you. Always enjoy the conversation, and we're glad to see that that our single is getting some love up in Canada.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's a total pleasure always connecting with you, Guido, and your audience. I mean, you're doing super great stuff, and so it's just feels just always good, just to be able to say hi and see that smiley face, and you know, be able to share all
Thanks.
this with you is a true total blessing. So thanks, man.
I'll look forward to having you back, guys. It's a wrap with Eric Fraser and Ryan Jones of Corvus Lore. Their latest single, Feather Me Through, is streaming now on all platforms. Raw, resilient, built for repeat plays. If you haven't seen the video yet, do yourself a favor, dive in. It's as visually powerful as the song itself. And while you're at it, revisit the cinematic knockout boxing ballerina. Lose yourself in the emotions of Blind and Broken. Take a cosmic ride with Calling Jupiter or feel the edge of Splinter. Corvus Lore is crafting rock legacy one riff at a time. Something tells me they're just only teasing us with a lot more to come. Find their music, videos, and tour dates at corvuslore.com. As always, keep your volume up and your playlist loud. I'll have all the socials in the show notes. We'll be playing Feather Me Through on thepathradio.com, where it has reached the top 5 on the charts. So as always, turn it up. Thanks again, Eric and Ryan. I hope you join us again. Till next time, rock on.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks, buddy. See y'all.
Take care, man.